They were asked the same question about the same player. One answered without hesitation. The other answered with a grudge she couldn't quite hide. Cynthia Cooper, Sheryl Swoopes, 2 Hall of Famers, 4 championships each. Resume that belong in the same conversation as the greatest to ever play this game. And when Caitlin Clark arrived and started rewriting the record books, when the arenas filled up and the ratings exploded and the sport found an audience it had been chasing for 30 years. These 2 women responded in ways so different, so revealing, that the contrast stopped being about basketball entirely. It became about legacy, about ego, about what it really means to be great. Let's start with Cynthia Cooper, because the specificity of her praise is what makes it so powerful. On a May 2025 episode of the All the Smoke podcast, Cooper was asked to describe Caitlin Clark in one word. She ignored the constraint entirely. Her answer was 3 words, and then she kept going because 3 wasn't enough either. Amazing. A beast. She is the truth. She broke down Clark's game with the kind of detail that only comes from someone who has studied the tape, who genuinely understands what they're looking at. She talked about Clark's ability to knock down threes from deep, her craftiness getting to the rim, her ability to draw fouls, and the way she backdoors defenders who are expecting a three-point shot. She called her a complete basketball player. And then she said the thing that really landed. She was a rookie, just a rookie. Now understand who is saying this. Cynthia Cooper is not a retired role player offering casual commentary from the sidelines. This is a woman who won 2 NCAA championships at USC in 1983 and 1984, who burst onto the WNBA scene in 1997 at the age of 34 and immediately became the most dominant player in the league, who led the Houston Comets to 4 consecutive championships and was named Finals MVP every single time. 2 league MVPs, a 3-time scoring champion, inducted into both the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame and the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame. When Cynthia Cooper tells you a player is the truth, that is not a casual opinion. That is a verdict from someone who has seen every level of this game and dominated all of them. And it wasn't a one-time moment of generosity. Cooper had been praising Clark since the 2024 rookie season.
Well, I appreciate you for repping Caitlin Clark. Well, you know what?
She was caught on camera at a Fever game telling a fan, "Can I appreciate you for repping Caitlin Clark, who's the absolute truth? She's making everyone better. She's making me better, and I'm sitting on the sideline." That clip racked up over 300,000 views because people were starving for exactly this. A genuine WNBA legend giving Clark her flowers without conditions, without qualifiers, without a but, hiding somewhere in the sentence. Cooper also pitched a 3-point shooting contest between Clark and Sabrina Ionescu at the WNBA All-Star Game, drawing a direct parallel to the Sabrina versus Steph Curry shootout that had captivated the basketball world. That idea, born from Cooper's pure basketball enthusiasm, captures something important. She is not sitting on the outside, throwing rocks at the players, carrying the league forward. She is thinking about how to make the product bigger, better, more exciting. That energy is what separates a legend who is at peace with her own place in history from one who is still fighting for relevance in a conversation that has already moved on. Now let's talk about Sheryl Swoopes, because the contrast could not be more jarring. In January 2024, Swoopes appeared on Gilbert Arenas' Gil's Arena podcast and delivered a monologue about Caitlin Clark that was so factually wrong, it became national news. Clark was on the verge of breaking the NCAA women's all-time scoring record, and Swoopes decided this was the moment to question whether the record would even be legitimate. Her argument was that Clark had played an extra season due to the COVID eligibility waiver. She said, and this is a direct quote, "If Kelsey Plum set that record in 4 years, well, Caitlin should have broken that record in 4 years. But because there's a COVID year, and then there's another year, she's already had an extra year to break that record. So is it truly a broken record? I don't think so." There was one problem with this entire argument. It was completely, verifiably, embarrassingly false. Clark was in her 4th season at Iowa. She never used the COVID eligibility waiver. She played the exact same number of seasons as Plum. The show's own producer looked it up in real time and corrected Swoopes on air. The clip went viral. The backlash was immediate, and Swoopes had publicly tried to delegitimize Clark's most significant accomplishment based on information she hadn't bothered to verify before saying it on a nationally distributed podcast. She also claimed Clark took about 40 shots a game in college. Clark's actual average was 22.7 attempts per game. She also referenced a 25-year-old playing against 20-year-olds, implying Clark was older than her opponents. Clark was 22. Every single factual claim Swoopes made in that segment was wrong. Swoopes eventually reached out to Clark through Angel Reese, who acted as an intermediary, and sent a text message apologizing for the factual error. She admitted publicly during a February 2024 broadcast, "I made a mistake in saying it was your 5th year when it is your 4th. But here is the problem. The apology did not stop the pattern." During the 2024 WNBA season, Swoopes was criticized for failing to mention Clark at all when crediting the Fever's hot streak. Despite Clark averaging 19.2 points and a league-leading 8.4 assists per game, she claimed on a podcast that the Fever could still make the playoffs without Clark. And when asked whether Clark's rookie numbers constituted domination, Swoopes said, "Those are hell of a numbers. But to me, that's not dominating." The fallout extended beyond basketball. Nancy Lieberman, a Hall of Famer and longtime friend of Swoopes, called her privately to point out the factual errors. Swoopes didn't take it well. Lieberman later said, "On the Stephen A. Smith show, I called her as a friend and I said, 'You can have your own opinion about anybody, but you do have to get the stats right.' She got upset with me, and so our relationship pretty much is not happening at this point." Swoopes responded publicly saying her life was better without Lieberman in it. A decades-long friendship between two Hall of Famers destroyed because one of them could not bring herself to give Caitlin Clark her due. Here is where the entire argument collapses under the weight of reality. In her rookie season, Clark averaged 19.2 points, 8.4 assists, and 5.7 rebounds per game. She set the WNBA single-season assist record with 337, obliterating the previous mark. She broke the single-game assist record with 19 against the Dallas Wings. She made 122 three-pointers, the second most in a single season in league history. She became the first rookie to record a triple-double, and then did it again. She was named Rookie of the Year with 66 of 67 votes. She made the All-WNBA first team, the first rookie to do so since Candace Parker in 2008. And she led the Fever to a 2020 record and their first playoff appearance since 2016. Time magazine named her Athlete of the Year. The Associated Press named her Female Athlete of the Year. Nike reportedly signed her to an 8-year, $28 million deal that would include a signature shoe, the largest sponsorship deal in the history of women's basketball. The Fever's average home attendance skyrocketed from 4,671 fans per game in 2023 to an all-time WNBA record of over 17,000 in 2024. Those numbers are not debatable. They are not a matter of opinion. They are etched into the official record of the league. So when Sheryl Swoopes sits on a podcast and says those numbers are not dominant, the only question left is what exactly is she looking at? Because the rest of the basketball world, coaches, players, analysts, Hall of Famers, and millions of fans seems to have a very different answer. And Cynthia Cooper, who knows what dominance looks like better than almost anyone alive, has been the most vocal of all of them in saying, "This girl is the truth." Swoopes and Cooper were teammates. They stood side by side during the most important era in WNBA history, built the foundation of this league together, and now, 30 years later, one of them is building bridges while the other is burning them. The difference between the two is not talent. It is temperament. It is the difference between a legend who sees the next generation as a continuation of her work and a legend who sees it as a threat to her relevance. Cooper's 4 championships are not diminished by Clark being great. Her legacy is not smaller because a 23-year-old from Iowa is rewriting record books. She knows that. And that security, that unshakable knowledge of what she built and what it meant, is what allows her to be generous with her praise instead of stingy with it. Celebrating Clark's rise is not a betrayal of your own legacy. It is an affirmation of it. When Cooper says Clark is brilliant, she is not diminishing what she accomplished with the comments. She is saying, "I see what I had in her." And that is the highest compliment a champion can give.